Hey, everybody, welcome to Think Business. Looking forward to talking with Adrian Esquivel. Adrian, it's great to connect with you and talk to you. I love talking tech, and you're the founder and CEO at TECKpert. And before we jump in, this is a podcast, and one of my things that I love to do is help get people unstuck. I'm a business coach. I work with solopreneurs to Fortune companies, all different types of people within companies who are successful, who are stuck, and get them unstuck. And so I always like to provide value to everybody that listens to the show. So I like to start off by talking about where's your stuck? Where's your stuck in business, and what are you doing to get unstuck?
Hey, so John, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
It's nice to meet you. So, it's interesting. So, I haven't really thought so much about that question, right? Like, what specifically, in what area? There's challenges every single day, right? That we have in our business. We are we're in the tech space, so we are constantly being challenged by our clients and by their problems, and they come to us looking for a solution, right? A solution that involves both people and technology. So for us, technology changes so fast, and we're always trying to find the best solution for them, right? So trying to stay ahead of that curve is always challenging for us,
Yeah.
because things move so fast, right? So I would say, I mean, that's one area where we like to focus our attention, our energy, in being able to learn about some of the latest technologies and solutions that are out there, so we can offer them
Yeah.
to our clients.
I love that. Think community. For those of you who know me, I was in the tech space. I started an internet company in 1995. Adrian, I sold it in '97, and at the time it was the largest internet professional service firm in the world. We did websites, and then I was a partner in that company for 2 years. But I understand what you're talking about. Everything was changing by the week. And what we found was, and I find myself coaching clients like this still today, is paying attention to the indicators and the vision of the client, and always doing our best to kind of be, 1 to 3 to 6 months ahead, even from an idealistic standpoint. So you can come in and kind of do your magic. But it's really important in community to make sure that your company is forecasting and paying attention to indicators and assumption sets that can change, especially in today's market, over and over again, sometimes even in one day. So it's not about necessarily always changing the plan, but adjusting and pivoting as needed. So thanks for sharing that, Adrian. I appreciate it. All right, let's talk about you. So you have a company that offers a contingent workforce built for any size digital transformation project. You started the company in 2009 with a vision of providing cutting edge technology solutions to businesses with a focus on not only customer service, but you've also worked with hundreds of companies and organizations to deliver digital solutions that have a lasting impact. Let's talk about starting a company in 2009. Let's start there, because for those of you who know 2009, for those of you who don't, the market crashed in September of 2008, and 2009. There was, it was a very difficult year where I think people they couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Nobody knew what was happening until, I would say, about maybe January-ish 2010, and then March 2010 and April 2010, the world just started coming back pretty strong. But starting a business in 2009 is always, when I see that, an interesting year to start a business. I also think, on the flip side, it's probably the best year to start a business, because the playing field was leveled and it was the greatest time to get in any field and start a business. So talk to me about why you decided to do it in 2009.
So you're right. That's exactly how I saw it as well back then. I thought it was a great time. I think that when there's opportunity, right? There was 2009 was a very weird year, right? Like you said, things started kind of unraveling. September '08, a little prior to that, and '09, we're still trying to figure things out. Like, where do we go from here, right?
Right.
Um, so from in our field, we are, we talk about technology and technology adding efficiencies to organizations, and being able to come in and something, do more with less, and implement a solution that can automate, right? Can save time, can add efficiency. So I thought it'd be a good time to start bringing that kind of solution to market.
Yeah.
And also I thought, hey, if you can start it during this time, and survive, then you should be able to thrive, right?
Yeah, right.
Right.
And you've done it, but tap into a little bit. I love talking about people's courage when they decided to do something, because again, I mean, think community, for those of you who didn't, who weren't in that working during that time, 2009 was a very dark year. It was a very, very dark year. And so to me, it had to take a lot of courage to have the idea, implement, and really, because we didn't know, we know now, but we didn't know in 2009 that come March 2010 things were really going to turn around and pick up.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was, I had kind of like a window there where it was like, I'm gonna go at it, and look at it over the next, 1 to 2, and see how things go. And first couple of months were really hard, right?
Yeah.
But after a year, you kind of started getting traction, right?
Yeah.
And things started building and growing after that. But yeah, it was, I was definitely different personally, in a different situation back then than I am today, right? Would not do it. I don't think in my situation today, I'd go back and do that, and make that kind of move, right?
Right.
But yeah, I was able to take that risk at that point,
Good.
at that
Good
time.
for you. Good for you. All right. So let's talk about, I want to talk a little bit about technology, but talk a little bit about a couple sentences on what your company actually does and who your ideal clients are.
Yeah. So we have two lines of businesses, right? So we have the consulting side, which we do a lot of assessments, and we have 4 main assessments that we do. We'll do a top-down IT assessment, and we tend to focus around small and medium-sized enterprises for that. We'll primarily focus on the software side of the assessment mostly. We also provide digital transformation assessments. So really look at how organizations are approaching their services, and delivering solutions, to their customers. Also provide cyber assessments, as well as application assessments for existing applications. It could be a legacy application, or a company or organization could be looking to build an application. So the assessments are part of our business. We'll come in and help solve a problem, provide a strategy, or actually deliver a concept, for a client. And then on the other side of the business, we do implementation services. So mainly we do staff augmentation and direct hire services for our clients. And so we'll help them go out there and find talent. We'll source, we'll vet, we'll do the whole recruiting process, and match the talent with our client. Not sure how familiar you are with augmentation, but these could be short-term projects in the IT space. Could be a 3-month project, as short as a 3-month project, or as long as 6 months or up to a year, where our clients will opt to bring in not a full-time employee, but a contractor, right, to help them deliver on projects. And then on direct hire, we also offer that. So if they are looking to bring on an FTE, we'll be able to go out there and find the talent for them.
It's great. It's great. Good. I love that you're doing that. Let's talk a little bit about technology. November 30th kind of changed the technology landscape a little bit with ChatGPT,
Mm-hmm.
kind of, hitting everybody's, kind of daily world into
Right.
the way they wanted it. And so it kind of changes, in my opinion, it changes the whole 10-year landscape. I mean, in shorter term and longer term, of where technology can take us. And not only, I'm 50, I'll be 51 next week. My generation, and every generation younger and older, right? It just opens itself up to just, I perused an article talking about how people are using it to just code, who know nothing about coding, but if you know how to talk to it, you can just, you can do coding, you can do this. How is AI affecting your business, and how do you, going back to kind of what we talked about in the beginning, how are you staying in front of it?
So yeah, so I mean, it could be a whole podcast around this topic,
Yeah.
right? We started working with that technology about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago even. We started working with different tech for machine learning, where we had large data sets, and we had a client that really wanted to make sense of it and provide insights into this data. And so we had a client in a project that really got us into the weeds of how this technology works. So about a year ago, then we're talking about before the chat gpt came out, and everyone's just like, wow, what's this AI stuff, right? We started working on our own solution for talent matching. So we have our own database, our own system for for when we go out there and we recruit. And so we have all this data, right, all our own data. And we're constantly working on requisitions for our clients. And so we wanted to build something that was really really fast in matching, that went beyond keyword searching or keyword matching, and really were able to analyze a job for our client, and then be able to look at all the data that we had in terms of resumes, profile, interview data, and be able to make recommendations, right? So we've been working on that technology in-house for about a year now. So we kind of knew about it, right? And then we were also, kind of the potential and the capability, because we were working with it and, with our clients on projects and internally. But when, they released ChatGPT, they were, putting it in the hands of just everybody, right? Like,
Yeah.
not people who are working on building the tech or enabling the tech. We've used it, right, ourselves, internally. I mean, it's for us, it's to see it kind of, to see it work for us. I mean, sometimes even I look at it, I'm like, well, it feels like magic, right? And a lot of people will, a lot of people that don't know how technology works behind the scenes will see it that way. So coding, we've seen that, right? We've seen it write code for people and be able to just spin up applications from having the conversation with them. Writing articles, writing content is a common one that we see. We see a lot of people that are generating content, articles, just from using it. Writing proposals, analyzing documents. I mean, there's a lot of applications. I think we haven't really seen at all
Right.
the potential of what that's going to be yet.
Yeah. No, I know it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild to watch how all of it unfolds. So,
And as the marketplace gets built out, I mean,
yeah.
you'll really start seeing. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some now. I mean, the implementation of it in email editors and documents, and going back to coding, like the Copilot feature in GitHub. So we're starting to see it now, and it's really just the beginning of.
Yeah. What else do you see as far as major disruptors in the industry? And then, as it's a two-part question, what do you see as the disruptors, and why do you always need kind of a human being like you to problem solve things through?
And so you mean disruptor in technology as a whole, or
Yeah,
AI
in
specifically?
industry, AI, technology, any type of technology, and why do you need a human being to actually problem solve with you? I mean, I think
Yeah.
human beings are really important to problem solve, and all of this stuff is great, but we still need someone to make sense of it and ask us questions and help us, do what's right specifically for us. But I'm curious of your opinion.
Yeah, of course, we're definitely not ready to delegate all our responsibilities to the robots,
Yeah,
right?
right,
Or even, is that even a good idea, right? So,
right.
um, so we're problem solvers, right? So that's we're human. That's what we do. We solve problems, right? And we figure things out. And technology at the end of the day is a tool, right? And it's something that's gonna software is a tool, right? Now, obviously, the scalability of how you solve a solution is, that's something that we can't do ourselves, right? That's why we have, we build these things, right? Um, so, so in terms of disruption, it's hard to see how, right? Or to what level, I think, obviously, if you look at I guess this is probably the biggest disruptor that an enabler, right, in the
Right.
last 15 years. Whenever the first iPhone came out, I think it was '07. Um, So we need something like that. And I don't know what that is yet. I don't know what that looks like to really change things, but I'm sure in the next 3 years I think we'll see it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. All right, let's do a quick speed round. You ready?
Sure.
Adrian, what is a book, an article, or a TED talk that's had the biggest impact on you?
Oof. I'm trying to think of the last book I read, or the last. I read one about 3 months ago and had a big impact on me as a lone survivor. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. Yeah. So that was a great book. Just seeing how like one person can survive such a harsh environment.
Yeah.
In war, it had to do with a special forces operator in Afghanistan, and his whole unit was unfortunately ambushed, and he had to survive, and then he also had to make friends with his enemy to survive.
Yeah.
So that one really had an impact. It showed like obviously survivability, and in the business world that's an up and down
Yeah.
economies and macro environment that we live in today. We don't know what's going to happen
Right.
a week, month, 6 months from now, right? So survivability is a something that for me kind of resonated. You want to kind of get through the business cycles, right, and continue to thrive and grow.
Yeah, good. I think they made a movie out of that. I'm not
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But what? I always read the books no matter what. Even,
Yeah. No, it sounds like an amazing book. Best piece of wisdom you've ever received?
Best piece of wisdom that I ever received. Oh, okay. So this is kind of tough. I didn't prepare it. I would say, don't live beyond your means, right? That's always been a good one.
That's a good one. And finish this sentence. Last question. One thing everybody can do to tap more deeply into their own courage, like you did in 2009, is?
Just jump into it.
All right, good.
Just do it.
I like it.
Just do it. That's jump man, right?
Yeah. This was great. Adrian, I appreciate you taking time to be on the show. Think community, we talked earlier, and many of you know I'm a business coach. I work with successful people who are stuck, get them unstuck. I love this podcast because I get guests like Adrian on to give you some of his insight to continually get you unstuck. And you said a lot of great things, Adrian, and congratulations on the business that you built.
Thank you, John.
But I want to extract one thing, which is we all can tap a little bit more into our courage. And for those of you who remember 2009, it was a great time to start a company, but a scary time to start a company. And so kudos to you. And I think in many ways, we are, whether you're starting a company or just really dialing into what you're doing, we're in kind of the same market right now as we record this in 2023, in the first half of 2023, because it's a great time in an adjusting market. And in 2009 was an adjusting, it was just more extreme, to build up your business for the next decade or 2 decades. And so 2009 was a great time, and you showcased that because it's 2023 and we're still talking about the same company that you've successfully built. Think community, zoom in, tap into your courage, and there's nothing you can't do. It may take time, but there's nothing you can't do. Adrian, tell people where they can connect with you and learn more about you and your business.
Yeah. So thanks, John, for having me again. And you can visit our website. It's TECKpert.com. That's TECKpert.com. And we have information about everything that we do there. We also put out a book a year ago on the future of the workforce. So we have a link to that. We also have some resources on there, like digital transformation white paper that you request. So we keep the website updated with content regularly. So it's a good resource for people that are in the tech industry or in business looking to enable their own company with tech.
It's great. Well, Adrian, thanks. And Think community, you can reach me at johndwoskin.com. Adrian, thanks. This was great. Really appreciate your time and your insights.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Thank you.